Welcome back, everyone, to the Nonstop Podcast. We got a new episode today. Pretty heated debate incoming. I hope you guys like to see us argue because we're going to argue. Let us know what you think, what your take is on the debate down below. Make sure, check out The Last of Us. We'll be covering that pretty soon. Formula One coming soon. We don't talk about that, but we will. And make sure to get us to 100 subscribers.
100,000.
100
on the way. Let's go.
On the way on YouTube. Get your friends, mom, family to subscribe. We're going to be giving away $100 after the 100 subscribers. So,
Please make sure to also follow our Instagram, our Twitter, our TikToks. And make sure, as Jahir said, subscribe to the channel.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hi.
Anyways, have you heard about the Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro thing?
Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire thing?
I heard some of it, but fill me in. Come on now.
So pretty much, like the whole argument is that Steven Crowder is leaving. What the Blaze, right? He's leaving the Blaze.
Blaze Pizza. And
so the Daily Wire sent him a contract. It was a non-binding agreement. And so they sent him a contract. In the contract it says that they were going to pay him $50 million over a 4-year period. So that's $12.5 million a year. But certain things, like if this doesn't happen, then we're going to take away certain 20% here, 20% there, 10% here, 10% there. If you don't meet our requirements, stuff like that. And Steven Crowder hated it. He hated the contract. And then he hated it so much that he decided it would be a good idea to post a YouTube video about it. And he didn't say that was the Daily Wire, but everybody speculated that it was the Daily Wire, and that forced the Daily Wire to post a video about it, of why they sent him that contract, and they don't think that it's that bad of a contract. And he kind of went through. It's like a 50-minute video of him explaining the entire contract.
Who?
The Daily Wire, the CEO of the Daily Wire.
Okay.
His name is something.
Something boring.
Can you look it up? Something boring.
Something boring.
It's like
that's mean.
Boring. That's his name.
His name's actually boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his last name is something boring.
What the fuck? That's a crazy last name. Oh,
Jeremy Boring.
Jeremy Boring.
Wow. What a boring last name. I thought you were just being mean.
Nope.
And that guy was going over it. It's a 50-minute long segment of him explaining the contract. And then today, Steven Crowder uploaded another video of him pretty much throwing shade at the Daily Wire, which is like, we're also like, they're supposed to be on the same side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're supposed to be on the same side. What do you think about it, Diego?
I can equate it to like I said before, I can equate it to like a big music company trying to sign an indie artist that's already big, and then being like, we're going to pay you this much, but let's say you don't. Like, they basically said the equivalent of like, we're going to pay you $50 million, but if you don't put out like, if your next 10 songs don't do this good, then we're going to take away 25% of that money.
Kind of.
What equates to a song?
Kind of. So this is what they were saying. So we're gonna give you $50 million, right? You have to produce 192 episodes, the same content that you're already making, right? You don't have to change the content that you're making. You're gonna make 192 episodes. You can stack your episodes. For example, you can make 2 videos in one day, so you can get a day off next week or whatever, right? You can stack them. If you decide to take a few days off, then you're gonna have to make those videos up at some point. And if you don't make them up by the end of the year, then we're going to subtract a commission, right? We're going to subtract, I think they said that they were going to subtract like $100,000 for each video that he did not make during that year. And so he said that, so $50 million, and then there's another like amendment to the contract that said, if you're banned on YouTube, then we're going to take away 20% of the $50 million. We're going to take away 20% if you're banned on Apple Music, if you're banned on Spotify, if you're banned on all these platforms, that we're going to take a percentage away because we can't advertise on those platforms anymore. And Steven Crowder did not like it at all. What do you think, Diego?
That's not fair. I don't like the ban thing because everything's bannable nowadays. And he says some stuff that isn't really, that doesn't sit right with a lot of people.
But he's not banned though.
No, I know, but he could be.
Yeah,
because he says stuff that could offend people. I'm not saying I get offended. I like some of his stuff. I find it pretty funny. But, one of these days, someone could just wake up and be like, oh, we need to cancel him because he did this, and you know how cancel culture is nowadays. They'll cancel him, they'll ban him off YouTube out of circumstances that are completely out of his control because he's just doing his job. Like you said, he's putting out the same media that he's putting out, and like that was stipulated in the contract that he would be putting out the same media, the same kind of content. But today that content may be cool with people, but tomorrow it could trigger someone, it could flip a switch with someone, and they'll be like, you know, get him out of here.
But would you blame the Daily Wire for that or YouTube?
No, that's why we understand that we understand that it's a fair contract, business from a business standpoint, it's well written.
But you can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow.
But from like a ownership standpoint of like Steven Crowder, or from like a morality standpoint, or like, you know, like if he has principles and stuff like that, it's not in Steven Crowder's best interest. That's all. Why did he have to make a video about it?
Thank you. I was about to say
Maybe he had to make a video about it because he just wanted people to know,
to take his side,
that this is that this is what like the industry does to like people who are up and coming, or like people who are successful. Like they just want to buy you out so that they can own you, and like you're better. And then maybe you just wanted to communicate that you're better off not signing that deal. Maybe you just want to let people know. The other point of view is that like he didn't have to do that. Like he didn't have to make that video because it was confidential. Like he could have just said no.
But isn't that part of being an employee?
I agree though. I think
you don't have to be he's not an employee. He doesn't want to be an employee. So
exactly, that's what I'm saying. But that comes, like, being owned by a company comes with being an employee.
I don't know.
But if you want to be, if that's what you want, but he doesn't want that.
If that's not what he wants, then that's fine, and he can decline the contract.
That's what I was saying.
He can decline the contract and not have to make a video about it.
Exactly. That's what I was just saying. He said no.
I don't think
but on the other hand,
I don't think it's a breach of confidentiality, just because, I mean, we don't know what was stipulated in the meeting or the transaction. It wasn't confidential. Like, I'm sure, like, the same way that that Jeremy Boring came out, that Steven Crowder did, Jeremy Boring came out and he literally explained the complete terms of the contract.
Yeah.
And the way it sounds like Steven Crowder just did the petty thing to come and start bashing them afterwards, after the fact that they didn't bash him, right? They didn't disrespect him in any way.
Yeah, but you could also see, I mean, the other side was like he's just trying to like let up and coming content creators know, or like up and coming journalists know that you're better off not selling your stuff to people who just want to own you.
Well, he's better off.
Most people are better off.
It could be a better deal for someone else. And the thing is,
and it's not just for this business. It's not just for YouTube. For the music industry and for the comedy industry and for the acting industry,
but the way the Daily Wire was doing it, they were just covering their own ass. Like, I don't think they were trying to do it in a way
that's what I'm saying. It was a smart. It was
a business because they're investing $50 million. Exactly. They're investing $50 million into Steven Crowder, right? Plus, that's not the only thing. They have to invest 10, 20, 30, 40 million dollars more because they're gonna market him.
Yes,
they have
Jeremy
a team
said
behind.
50 million, right? Jeremy said 100 million total.
He said 100.
That means they're valuing Steven Crowder at more than 100 million, because if they want to make their money back, they're gonna have to make more than 100 million off of him. Yeah. So but they're only offering 50 million plus like if anything goes wrong, they're gonna take away his money. Like literally anything goes wrong, literally anything. Like they literally. They listed everything in the contract. Like they basically covered anything. Like anything goes wrong at all. Like if you get banned, if you're not able to get banned,
that's extreme. Exactly. If you get banned, that's extreme. Okay, and if Steven Crowder gets banned, that's not the Daily Wire's fault.
It wasn't all just banned. It was like, you know, if you get cancer and you can't come on the week,
then that's not your fault.
If you can't make videos this week.
They said if you get into a car accident, then we're not gonna hold that against you. That was in the contract.
Okay, well, whatever. Like, okay, you're right. But if like just anything like. But anyway,
you have to be more specific. You can't just say anything.
Okay, but he's only getting paid 50 million, and they're valuing him at over 100 million. So like,
that's fine.
So why would he take that offer? Honestly, it's like.
But that's not the point.
Just give him. That's why Steven Crowder. That's why I'm on Steven Crowder's side when he said.
That's not why he's. It's not about the money though. It's for him. It's not about the money.
For who?
For Steven Crowder.
Apparently, it is.
No, because he said in the video that it's not about the money.
You're right. It's about the money for the Daily Wire, though, right?
Yeah, because they're a business. So if they're investing $100 million into him and he gets banned on YouTube and Apple
it's a good business
and Spotify and they can't advertise on there, and then obviously they can't pay him $50 million.
I know that. Everybody understands that.
That's the entire thing. That's the entire argument.
It's not about the money. Well, like you said, it's not about the money for Steven Crowder, right?
Yeah, so he
wants to be able to say whatever he wants to say, and that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's the thing. But
he doesn't want anybody to own him. That's the thing. He doesn't want anybody to own what he can say or what he can't say.
I feel like that's really specific.
It's a double-edged sword, though,
because there's no.
It's literally the same as an indie artist getting
contracted
by.
It can't be the same though, because they're not the same person. Like Steven Crowder is a well-established person. Like, I feel like you can't compare it because it doesn't sound like an unfair contract. But
It's
you
not
also,
an unfair contract. It's
you
fair.
also can't control. But the way he made it sound unfair.
It's not an unfair
it's
contract.
It's okay for him to reject it because.
But he's talking
like
about different things, though. They're both like.
Well, that doesn't. The
Daily Wire. The Daily Wire
literally
was just talking about the contract itself.
Exactly.
Steven Crowder was talking about the bigger picture.
Well, it wasn't just talking about the contract. Looking at his bigger picture. They're looking at their bigger picture. And I mean,
they're looking at the
Steven Crowder in the video.
The small picture. They're looking at just Steven Crowder.
In the video, Steven Crowder, when he was outlining, I'm sure you can pull this up, Yo. It's like a 5-minute segment from Steven Crowder's side. If he was outlining how, like one of the biggest things that he was talking about was how, if he gets like the banning thing, the 20%, 40%, 50%, 60%, he was talking about how if all those things were to go wrong, he would be left with 30 to 40% of what he was promised. And that was a big thing when he was talking about it. But the thing is, like, that wouldn't be the Daily Wire's fault if he were to get banned, right? Because he had, you know how he has Mug Club, right? You've heard about Mug Club?
Yeah.
Where Steven Crowder doesn't say anything that he wants on YouTube. He always says certain things, and then he goes, okay, we have a segment on Mug Club. If you guys are subscribed to Mug Club, and you guys can get the private podcast there or whatever. And he has that too. So I don't really understand why he hated it so much that he had to make a video about it.
Well, you said that they're going to give him the same ability to keep putting out the content that he's putting out, right? He's going to be able to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So maybe he just doesn't. So what's the catch?
The catch is he doesn't want to be. There's contingencies in the contract. Well, if this happens, then we can't give you this amount of money because we can't advertise on that.
So he doesn't trust himself
to
completely
makes sense
fulfill
for that,
the contract.
Huh?
That makes sense for everybody. Everybody doesn't think that's unfair.
Yeah, he did not think that was fair.
I don't think so.
Yeah, look, we just take a look. We can look at a 5-minute clip,
it's
dude.
Too long. Their video.
No, we don't have to look at. We don't have to look at the entire 28-minute video.
He doesn't have not the confidence, but he doesn't have the.
He doesn't think that he should be penalized if he gets banned on YouTube. He doesn't think that they should take away any money if he gets banned on YouTube.
So that means he's not. He's not completely. He's aware that there's a possibility that he will get banned on YouTube. So he doesn't want to compromise his content, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, they're taking a risk because the Daily Wire knows that the slightest thing you say that isn't okay with people is gonna get you canceled and banned.
Yeah, and they offered him we just don't want they obviously don't want him to get banned on YouTube. Like obviously they don't want him to get banned on YouTube, and it would be his best interest not to get banned on YouTube either, right? And they said, well, you can say whatever you want, but if you get banned, like obviously there's gonna be like a consequence because we're not gonna be able to advertise to pay you and to pay ourselves. And then so...
Do you really think that Steven Crowder is that stupid that he doesn't understand what we're saying? Like, do you think he's so dumb that he doesn't get that point? Like,
well, that's what he's arguing. That's what he's arguing. He's saying, how can they take away 20%, 40%, 50%, 60% if this happens?
Maybe he posted that video
I think
out of
that they
frustration.
should give him $30 million per year for the 4-year contract.
That's fine. You can say that, but that doesn't negate the fact that he had to make a YouTube video about it.
If they're going to value him at $100 million and they're only giving him 50, at least give him 20 million more than where you're valuing.
But he's not talking about that. He's not talking about that.
Maybe he is subliminally because he's saying like, I'm only getting 50 if it's a pot because I might.
No, he's talking about the percentages that they can take away.
Yeah, maybe he will get banned.
He's not talking about how much they're paying him. He's talking about how he could lose 60% of the $50 million.
He could. So at least.
But that's not the Daily Wire's fault, though. That's not the Daily Wire's fault.
So make it 120 million, and then I'll accept then I'll accept it because then he will make more even if he gets banned on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music.
They're looking at him as an institution, though, right? Like they're saying, we're giving you. It's like a business. We're giving you this money up front. These are other stipulations, other things that involve money. We're valuing you at 100 million, but we're not going to give you 100 million because there's money going elsewhere. Yeah,
and if he thinks that he's worth more than $50 million, then he can decline the contract, or he can negotiate.
It's not even that he's being valued, that he thinks he's being valued at 50 million. Like you said, he understands that he's being valued at 100 million. Maybe he thinks he's worth more than 100 million.
Yeah,
because he wants, like he said, it's not about the money, but like he understands that they're investing money elsewhere.
Well, clearly they're not treating him like an individual person. The Daily Wire thinks he's
They're treating him
worth
like a
more
business,
than 100 million.
like his business that makes money. I mean, this is $100 million that he didn't have already, right?
No. The Daily Wire thinks but the Daily Wire thinks he's worth more than 100 million, but they're only giving him 50.
That's not the point, though.
They're investing money elsewhere.
Maybe under the table it is the point. Maybe
no, it's not the point. The point is not at what they're valuing.
Well, that's what I think. I'm saying Steven Crowder is a very emotional guy, in my opinion. So I think he's taking it really personally. I honestly think he's taking the contract personally, but who am I to say?
Play the video real quick. 5-minute video. I don't know why you can't play 5 minutes of it.
We can play. It's 28 minutes.
So to everyone out there,
find the segment where he's talking about 20, 40, 50%, 60%. Find that part.
Bruh.
I think it's.
And this would be if it was
longer. And
he's a smart guy.
I'm pretty sure
he's a really smart guy.
Think about this for a second. And those in charge, the big conservative, the big con, and it really is the biggest con going right now. They're making it known in their contracts that they will enforce the guidelines of big tech and punish conservatives on their behalf. Don't worry, Wojcicki. Trust me, these conservatives will stay in line. If they get demonetized, we take away 25% of their operating budget.
All right, do you understand what he's saying right there?
Yeah, if they get demonetized, we're going to take away 25%.
Yeah, but do you understand what he's saying about the left right there?
Huh?
Do you understand what he's saying about the left right there? He's saying that basically what the Daily Wire is saying is that don't worry, leftists, don't worry, Democrats. We're gonna make sure that this guy stays under control.
That's not what the Daily Wire is saying. That's not what the Daily Wire is saying.
Well, why is he saying that then? Is he stupid? Do you think this guy's an idiot?
I think he's misunderstanding the contract.
So they're counting on.
He's not misunderstanding.
That's what they're doing.
Maybe the Daily Wire is just trying to make you think that he's misunderstanding the contract.
It's a calculated risk.
What?
They're giving him that money because
simple,
they're counting on him not being an idiot.
Really? You think $100 million deal is simple?
They're counting.
I think the contract is quite simple.
Well, you're saying he's not an idiot. They're counting on him not being an idiot. That's why they're giving him that money. They wouldn't have offered him that money in the first place if they thought that he wasn't an idiot. They would have.
The Daily Wire is not going to. The Daily Wire is not punishing him if he gets banned on YouTube. It's just a concept. So then why are you saying that?
Because you're looking at it at a superficial level. That's why you're just looking at the money. That's it. Like you're not looking at anything else.
I'm looking at the contract, which is what we're talking about.
Which is just the money.
Which is what we're talking about. What he's talking about.
The contract's about. No, he's not.
He is talking about the contract. He's exactly talking about the contract.
That they will enforce the guidelines of big tech.
They will enforce the guidelines of big tech
and punish conservatives.
But the Daily Wire is not punishing conservatives
on their behalf.
But hey, don't worry.
Don't worry. So he's saying.
Trust me, these conservatives will stay in line.
But it's just reality. It's not punishment. It's reality. If he gets banned, let me talk. If he gets banned on YouTube, then it's not the Daily Wire's fault that they cannot make revenue off of him.
Yeah, but you're just like
they're not punishing him. It's just reality. If you get banned on YouTube, we can't advertise.
They're talking about we can't two different things.
No, we're talking about the same thing.
The Daily Wire, he's just talking about they're just talking about the money, the contract. He's talking about the movement. He's talking about the movement in a whole, like the whole conservative movement in the country. He's talking about that. He's saying like, from his point of view, because I can see both point of views, right? I think the contract and the deal is a fair deal. I think it's a fair contract from a business standpoint. I don't understand how you can complain about the deal. I don't understand how you can complain that, oh yeah, if I get banned off YouTube, they're not going to make the money from YouTube, so they're going to take away that money because they're not making any money anymore. I get that. But he's saying that the Daily Wire is kind of supporting Democrats in canceling Republicans.
How?
Because they're saying that if he says something that's not politically friendly, then they're not going to give him money for saying something that's not politically friendly.
If he gets banned, then they can't give him the money.
I understand. See, that's what I understand both sides, but he doesn't like the fact that they're even considering this. That's
what I'm saying. What he wants is to be able to say whatever he wants, and he can get banned on YouTube and still get paid. That's what he wants.
I doubt that.
I don't think that's what he wants. I don't think
exactly what he's saying. That they're punishing.
Didn't you say it's not about the money for him?
The punishment is the 20%, the 40%, the 60%.
It's not about the money for him.
That's what he's arguing about.
He didn't say anything about money, though.
The Daily Wire is taking a risk because they're not enforcing their own rules. Those are the rules that are being enforced on them.
They're not taking any risk. They're going to take away money if he gets banned. They're not taking any risk.
It's a calculated risk.
They're not taking any risk at all.
They'll still be losing revenue.
No, they won't.
No, they
won't. They won't be losing any money.
If they were to give him, if they were to give him the money, even if he was banned, are they taking any risk?
Of course.
But
they're not. The contract says that's not possible. So
then why is he arguing about it? Well, then why is he so angry about it?
Because he's not talking about the money.
What is he talking about then?
He's talking about the whole movement as a whole.
Well,
then why is he talking about the contract? He has a contract in hand.
You're saying that they want to control him. They want to control him, right?
Yes.
They're under control too.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They can't say whatever they want.
They have a huge platform. The Daily Wire is not controlled by anyone. It's a private company.
But they are
on YouTube. They advertise on YouTube all the time.
They have to conform to those rules as well.
That's their company, right? That's not Steven Crowder.
But their rules that he's aware of.
And also, the Daily Wire
they're under the same rules as Steven Crowder.
Way bigger than Steven Crowder. Not the Daily Wire, though.
Yeah, they are. On YouTube, they are.
Yeah, on YouTube. But not
on every other social media platform. They're on the same rules as Steven Crowder.
Not on the Daily Wire,
not on the Daily Wire website.
And they have a lot of employees. Just the Daily Wire.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have a lot of offices and stuff like that.
That's true. But he's talking about the punishment. He said when he says punishment, he's talking about them taking away 20%, 40%, 50%.
He said punishment?
He said
right here in the video.
Go back 10 seconds.
It's the guidelines of big tech and punish conservatives.
He said when he says
on
punish
their behalf.
conservatives,
don't
he's
worry
talking about them taking away 20, 40, 60% because of what happens to him or to other creators.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about the money though.
So why is he arguing?
Because he's saying that he doesn't like the idea that big tech is paying conservatives, like freelance conservatives, or I don't know what the word is, but like basically like people that are big, like successful, but not on their in their company. Like he doesn't like the fact that they're trying to like I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like from his point of view, I think he thinks that they're trying to like. I think he thinks that they're like basically in bed with like big tech, like with Facebook and Instagram, because they're trying to like give him a contract to basically not get them banned. So like Steven Crowder. I mean, you know what I mean? Or you know what I'm trying to say? Like
I think I know what you're trying to say.
They're trying to like be politically friendly so that they can keep making a lot of money, but that's at the cost of like the whole conservative movement as a whole, like the anti-politically correct movement. I think as a whole, that's against that. And so, like, I think that's what Steven Crowder has a gripe with, because it's not about the money for him. If it was, he would have taken the $50 million.
Sure.
Because he would have had no problem with being, politically correct, and everything that they wanted to say, he'd be like, "Yes, sir."
Well, I don't think he should have taken it personally, because I think the Daily Wire would have enforced that on just about anyone, because that's what the Daily Wire is trying to do. They're trying to stay politically correct and trying to stay afloat. So it's not personal with Steven Crowder. Not personal, no. They could have offered that deal to anyone else, and Steven Crowder just happened to be offered that deal, and he took it personally because they think that they're trying to punish him.
No.
They're not trying to punish
not him. He said Republicans.
Conservatives.
I mean, sorry.
But either way, exactly. So like any conservative that works with the Daily Wire would have to like understand those rules and those stipulations in the contract.
But there's a bunch of people like Jordan Peterson. He's under the Daily Wire now, and he's still doing the same thing.
Yeah, but he's losing his freaking psychology license.
Is that the Daily Wire's fault?
Maybe it is.
That's irrelevant. So
I don't think it is, but
it's completely irrelevant to the Daily Wire. Doesn't have to do anything.
It's completely irrelevant.
You're just bashing at Jordan Peterson now.
Candace Owens is doing the same thing. Matt Walsh with What Is a Woman is doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're being completely politically correct, especially with that video.
But they're not totally free either. Maybe I just like Steven Crowder because I like his spirit.
I like him too.
I like his free spirit.
I don't have anything against Steven.
I don't have anything against him either.
I like that he doesn't want to be like owned by anybody. Maybe I just like that.
I think.
Well, clearly Matt Walsh likes that, and clearly Jordan Peterson does too, and clearly like basically every rapper in history likes that too. So I'm just saying, like, maybe I just like him because he doesn't want to be owned.
I don't think it's comparable.
He wants to do his own thing. It is. It's pretty much a direct parallel.
I don't think so.
No, it is pretty much a direct parallel.
Industries, although alike, there's still a lot of differences.
Well, if they're alike, they're comparable.
But nobody's forcing him to sign any contracts. Nobody's forcing him to do anything. If he doesn't like the contract,
he didn't accept it.
He can tell the Daily Wire to go kick rocks, whatever, dude. But like, he doesn't have to.
He's doing that, but he's doing it publicly, and I understand that. I have a problem with that too, because I think they have a common enemy, which is Democrats or liberals.
Why does he have to snap back when they're just covering their own ass?
Maybe they're not covering their own ass.
They are, because they're a business.
They're a business, and they're just saying, this is what we offered him, and he got mad about it. Well, they didn't even say he got mad about it. They're just like, well, this is what we offered him. And then he snapped back at them saying, well, like...
And then the Daily Wire snapped back at him after they made the video, too.
Yeah, because they have to.
And then
upload their reputation.
And then Ben Shapiro made it personal by tweeting directly at Steven Crowder and saying something about friendship and professionalism.
Yeah, pull up his tweet. Did you hear what he said, dude?
No. But I can see. Was this after all 4 videos?
Yeah, this is
well, I can see why after the fact he would have to feel the need to say something because he's one of the most iconic figures at the Daily Wire.
And they're friends too.
He's got to represent his company. So when someone's over here, not disrespecting, but
look at Ben Shapiro
talking about your company in a way that makes your company look bad, you're obviously going to say like, hey, man, you need to keep it professional.
Exactly. And they're friends too. I don't understand why Steven Crowder had to throw shade at the Daily Wire. That being that they're good friends. That Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro are good friends. Ben Shapiro Twitter account.
This is not
yeah, we don't have internet.
It's not loading.
We have technical difficulties.
Okay, well, he said that something along the lines of it is known, or if it's like he says, damn, what the fuck did he say?
He said, Steven Crowder's latest video tragically proves that he knows nothing about 3 things: business, contract negotiation, and friendship and decency. Again, here's Jeremy going blah, blah, blah.
Terrible Ben Shapiro. That's 4 things, Ben Shapiro. Come on.
We'll do the shots first, though.
That's 4.
He's adding liquid. He's adding
fuel to the fire.
He's
adding fuel to the fire,
bro.
Yeah. And honestly, that's like basically the first thing I said. I was like, I don't like that they're going back and forth about this because they're on the same side. It's
on the same
like,
side.
It's like seeing Andrew and Tristan fight. You know what I mean?
I thought he would just be defending his company, but then when you say someone doesn't know about something, you make it personal. I don't think Ben Shapiro had to make it personal.
Yeah, I understand Ben Shapiro's a Jew, so he's a really good businessman.
I mean,
but Steven Crowder's not an idiot about business. He has a very successful
point,
career.
You need to know when to send him a text or give him FaceTime him or something. Be like, hey man, and have an actual conversation about it before you take to social media and I guess in a way bash him, because saying that someone doesn't know about something is bashing, and I think that's unfair because he's a businessman too, Steven Crowder. So for Ben Shapiro to say he knows nothing about business and all that stuff,
but Steven Crowder's under a company. He was under the Blaze. He was under a company before the Blaze, and he would be under the Daily Wire, but he doesn't have that company. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't run. Like the Blaze runs him pretty much.
But he knows.
But
about
the Daily
business.
Wire is like you could equate the Daily Wire to the Blaze because they're a big company, right? But Steven Crowder doesn't have the Blaze company. He doesn't have a company like that.
Yeah, I know, but we don't know the contract that he was under with the Blaze.
No, I don't know.
Maybe it was totally.
But he
I'm
doesn't.
Sure for the time he thought that
maybe
contract
he liked it
was
a lot
fair.
better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he's leaving now. But I don't know what he's gonna do. I hope.
Yeah, like Jahir
I hope
said,
he finds something.
At the time, he thought it was fair.
Well, is he leaving because his contract expired and he just doesn't want to renew?
I think he's leaving because I think he said something about the Blaze and him not seeing eye to eye on things, stuff like that.
So he dissolved the contract.
I think so. Well, I'm not sure of the details about that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why they had to. I really don't understand why Steven had to go public about it. To be honest.
Either. I mean, both. I mean, I would understand if Ben Shapiro decided to go public and openly defend the Daily Wire and just say, we never intend to do this, and this to these content creators, but to go out and, I mean, like you said, they're friends, to go out and say that my friend knows nothing about this, and this, basically saying you need to learn a thing or two about business and like in order to be big. Like if you read between the lines, it's kind of what he's saying. He's like, you're never going to be this if you keep doing this. But I think that made it personal. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying, like, I like Steven Crowder, but I'm not saying I agree with him making it public in the first place. He was just kind of venting. But again, when the Daily Wire, when Jeremy came out and not defended, I haven't seen the video, but I'm sure the way you guys explain it, all he did was explain the details of the contract.
Yeah.
Put them out there and say, this is for everyone to decide whether you would take this or not. Which, of course, they can't because they're not in the same situation as Steven Crowder. They're not, like, there's no two Steven Crowders. So no one can decide if that's fair for Steven Crowder. But if Steven Crowder decides that it's not fair for him to come out and say, you guys are not doing good for me, and then just, like, start saying, like, they want to punish me, or punish conservatives, they want to push this, push that, and then just kind of make it personal when he didn't have to. And then Ben Shapiro comes out and make it personal. Then it just becomes their own thing.
Yeah.
Then they're just basically excluding the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
And it's like the Daily Wire was just trying to make money by giving him money. Because, like, the Daily Wire is thinking about money.
Yeah.
While Steven Crowder wasn't thinking about the money. And I think this all could have been solved in a conversation.
Private conversation.
In a private conversation.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think it escalated very quickly because, like you said, he's very spirited, and that's a good thing. But it didn't
He's
have.
very emotional. Yeah.
It doesn't have to get to this level. There's nothing wrong with being emotional and showing emotion and showing you
Sometimes
care about something.
In business, there might be.
In business.
I think in my business, there might be.
But he's showing that he cares about the movement and about, like, you know, this battle that they're having, just like this, the conservatives and the liberals, and he cares about not being controlled. But you don't have to make it the Daily Wire's problem, because the Daily Wire has their own thing going on. They're just trying to get something else going, you know?
Yeah.
And then Ben Shapiro comes out and just makes it completely personal, saying you need to learn a thing or two about this.
And he also said the last part was friendship and decency, which
I
I
agree
think
with
was
that.
the worst part.
That's the worst part. I mean,
But he's
That's
right
super
about that,
personal, but I mean,
Did
I
he
don't know
say-
if he's right about that.
though. Yeah,
did he say
a
something about
professional
Ben
friendship.
Shapiro?
We don't know anything about their
Is
friendship.
that professional?
We don't know anything
what
about
Steven
their.
Crowder did?
In my opinion, no.
But
But we don't know anything about their friendship,
I
like
also
in real
think,
life. I don't think they're probably not friends. Like,
I also
I
think
thought
they're
friendship
probably
and
not good
decency-
friends. They're probably just like associates.
Friendship and decency. I mean, it's not really a professional thing to a decency, I guess. But friendship, it's not really something you consider a professional-ism.
Yeah, so why
You
would
can
you even
consider a
put that
professional
in the list,
friendship,
on
but
the
yeah,
list?
exactly. To put that on a list is kind of
Because
just.
they're friends and he shouldn't bash.
I don't know about that. How do you know they're friends, dude?
Because he said friendship.
Have you ever hung out with them? Like, yeah, but he's okay. So
Did Crowder
the
say something
Bible,
about
the Bible
Shapiro?
said that Jesus
No.
reincarnated. So how do we fucking know that? How the fuck do we know, dude? You know what I mean?
Like
Like,
some fucking context clues.
I don't know. If Crowder said something about Shapiro, then I guess the friendship thing is there. But just to bring up friendship out of nowhere when he's disputing his contract with a business, and
Yeah.
for Ben Shapiro to come and say, you know, he knows nothing about friendship. What are you talking about, dude?
yeah, that
Friendship?
doesn't make, that's like
Friendship?
kind of doesn't have anything to do with it. I
Well,
mean, you know, it's
unless
just,
they're
it just
unless
looks good
they're not
on
friends.
the tweet. It looks good on
Unless
the tweet.
they're not
I don't
friends.
think they. I mean, I don't know personally. I don't know.
Yeah. So if they
You
are
could've just
friends,
said-
I've never seen them
then
hanging out like
Why
why
would
a
you-
cocktail on like one of their stories or something like that, or like, you know what I mean? I've never heard of them.
but they go on. They've done interviews with each other all the
Yeah.
time.
Maybe
He's
that's
gone to the
professionalism.
Daily Wire.
That all pays a lot of money.
I feel like it would make more sense if he
Pays
said
a lot of money.
professionalism instead of
Right.
friendship
That
and
doesn't mean you're
decency.
friends.
He didn't have to say. I don't know. I think the word friendship is just really damning, because
That's pretty damning, huh?
you don't
Coming from a Jew, especially.
like in a professional and like in a business conversation, you don't say, "Come on, dude, we're friends,"
That's true.
because then you just throw the whole business aspect out the window.
Boom. That's true.
It just
But if we're
point.
friends,
Boom.
but if we're friends, and I talk to you about something in private, and then you go on the air about it,
well, did they
Is
talk
that
in
friendship?
private? Does
yeah,
he
of course
mention
they talk in private. It was a
Well, yeah, they
if
did.
it was a non-disclosure
Crowder-
agreement,
but-
and if Steven Crowder were to sign that non-disclosure agreement, then it would not have been disclosed to the public. That's what it was.
Like, that's what I'm asking. Did
Wait,
Steven Crowder mention
So
didn't,
it was
didn't
private.
specifically mention the Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro.
Huh?
He didn't. Steven Crowder didn't specifically mention the Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro.
The Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro.
He didn't.
That's the face
mention
of it.
either one.
Yeah, he did. In the second video,
the
he
first
did.
video in Steven Crowder's first video.
Yeah,
well,
but
that was
that's-
after the response.
That's
which the Daily Wire was admitting to being the ones that.
Well,
sent
Well, I'm
the
gonna say what
contract.
follows is that he's gonna say that it had nothing to do with Ben Shapiro. He's gonna say
Well,
that
it doesn't. It's
because he's
it
gonna not
probably
only
doesn't.
he's like
It's a business.
yeah, exactly. Not only that, but you know, just Ben Shapiro doing this kind of damns him in the way that like, well now, Steven Crowder has the upper hand, and he gets to say it had nothing to do with Ben Shapiro, and he took it too personal, and now Ben Shapiro's gonna look like Crowder's gonna look like the bigger man, because he gets to say now, I had no intention of disrespecting Ben Shapiro, and Ben Shapiro just took it.
He
on
never
the ass.
disrespected Ben Shapiro though.
Well, for him to say
his
he knows
company
nothing
is
about
I don't
him.
think he
The
mentioned
Daily
Ben.
Wire is Ben Shapiro. When
No,
you,
it's-
yeah, it
It's
is,
not
dude.
Ben Shapiro.
It
That's-
is.
no, it's
When you
not.
think of the Daily Wire, who do you think of?
Jeremy Boring.
well,
Ben
I think
Shapiro.
of Ben
When you think of
Shapiro,
Ben Shapiro, you think of the Daily
but
Wire.
that's not necessarily.
So the Daily
what
Wire
it
is him.
That's
That's
not
him. That's where he
necessarily
gets
what it
his money
is.
from. That's his business. That's his company. That's all
Come
him.
on, that's like
I don't think Ben Shapiro
come on,
offered
really?
him the
That's
money,
like
though.
saying, no.
He's the CEO.
But
He knows
didn't offer him
exactly.
the
He knows
contract.
exactly what was on the contract.
He knows what was on the contract.
Exactly.
And he
So
okayed
and
it.
he exactly.
But
And
that
so
doesn't mean he's like trying to
He's not
blatantly.
the CEO.
He's not trying to blatantly like do Steven Crowder wrong.
of course not.
So for Steven Crowder to say for him, I don't know. I just disagree with Ben Shapiro saying friendship.
There's very good points on either side.
Huh?
There's very good points on either side. I think
Yeah.
both of them have good points.
This-
You know,
it
it's
all
very-
comes-
The whole
It's a-
public thing.
it all
It all,
comes down.
it all comes down to the Daily
point of
Wire
view.
wants an employee. It all comes down to the Daily Wire wants an employee, and Steven Crowder wants a platform where he could do whatever he wants. I think that's what it all comes down to.
And I totally support Steven Crowder, and I totally support the business aspect of the
I
Daily
totally
Wire.
support both of them.
From a personal point of view, I support Steven Crowder, and I
wouldn't it?
I don't think the Daily Wire is bad at all for doing what they did. I don't think they're bad people. I don't think they're, I don't think they're.
If we take in these
I just don't think they're bad people, but I think I support Steven Crowder for not taking the contract.
If we factor everything in, and I like Ben Shapiro. I'm not saying
like both of them.
I'm not saying I praise everything they do or whatever, but I like Ben Shapiro. I find him an intelligent person.
Smart little Jew.
So everything factored in, whether or not they're friends and whether or not he's the one that or he had something to say in the contract, wouldn't that just make Ben Shapiro look bad if he didn't have a private conversation with Steven Crowder and put everything out there, just like mention everything and make sure that Steven Crowder was okay with it? Because for someone to give you a contract and say, because I can understand where Steven Crowder is coming from. Like, okay, we're valuing it this much, but we're only giving you this much. Okay, it's not about the money, but we're also going to make sure that you don't do this, this, and this because it could hurt us. So you just need to abide by our filters. So for Ben Shapiro,
they're not filters. They're just contingencies.
Well, they're telling him, it's not telling him what he can't say, but they're also telling him
if this happens. They're just saying if this happens, then this is what's going to happen.
But like he said that their intention is punishing conservatives, right?
Yeah, but the word punishing is misleading, though.
It is misleading, but he's basically saying that, their contingencies have a negative effect on the movement that he's trying to push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like that. So why didn't Ben Shapiro, if there's a friendship, a personal friendship, obviously Ben Shapiro's not going to bend his knee and say, we're going to give you whatever you want. But if there is a personal friendship, which Ben Shapiro brings up about friendship and decency, why didn't he personally call him up and say, hey, if he had some say in the contract, hey, this is the contract we're going to offer you. We don't want to make the offer until I know like that, you're fine with it. Like they just made the offer. If they just made the offer to him and that's why he's upset because he's like, they really think I'm going to accept this.
Like
I can understand
I said,
it
wasn't a contract. It was a negotiation of. It was like it was a ball. It was the ball roller.
It was their contract.
It was the ball roller.
It was what they offered.
It was the first thing that they sent him, and he could have easily started negotiating. There's not only one contract.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, there's not only one contract.
And there's no need to involve friendship because there was no mutual connection. What do you mean? If that's the first thing they sent him, then it was purely a business negotiation.
Yeah, it's
and,
because
Steven Crowder kept it purely business. He didn't, like he said,
that's not true.
He didn't mention Ben Shapiro.
He didn't have to go on the air. He didn't have to make the entire YouTube video.
Yeah, I know, but Steven Crowder, I don't think.
But look,
because he wanted to.
Let me see.
And everybody knew that he was
point out a bigger
Daily
picture.
Wire.
Let me see if I could explain myself better. Ben Shapiro and him are friends. Ben Shapiro is the face of the Daily Wire. So Ben Shapiro equals the Daily Wire, if that's what we're saying. So for the Daily Wire to send for the first move of the Daily Wire to be pure business, no friendship. I'm still hung up on the friendship part. For the first move to be all business, and for Steven Crowder never to mention Ben Shapiro. Well, why is Ben Shapiro talking about friendship and making it personal?
Because that's what Steven Crowder did first.
No, but why is he making it personal between him and Steven Crowder?
Because he bashed the Daily Wire.
But the Daily Wire wasn't personal. It was a business contract, and then negotiations ensued.
Exactly.
And Steven Crowder didn't like that.
It was a business thing.
So what's personal about that?
That why did he have to go and bash his company?
The company.
Yeah.
The business.
The company is him.
A business negotiation.
Yeah. Why would he do that if they were friends?
I don't think he's bashing Ben Shapiro. Because Ben Shapiro didn't. It wasn't a friendly conversation. It was a business transaction.
It could have been a friendly conversation, and Ben Shapiro and Jeremy and Steven had a call, and Jeremy said, and this is what Jeremy said, that Steven said that he's not going to look at the contract anymore, that he's not even going to send it to his agent, that the contract is trash. He's not even going to take a look at it. Just send me a new one.
Jeremy said that.
Steven Crowder said that. Jeremy said that Steven Crowder told him that over the phone, and that
Jeremy
he was
said
very.
That Steven said, but I'm pretty sure Steven released the actual phone call.
Yeah, and I watched it. Yeah, and I watched it. Yeah,
so
and he said that the business model. He said that he told Jeremy to change his business model.
Where's the personal aspect though?
I think Steven Crowder take it personally because he's a part of a bigger. He just doesn't want to. I think he's really true to the conservative movement.
I don't understand why Ben Shapiro took it so personally. I don't think
the Daily Wire might be maybe a little bit less true. I don't know. I think that's what I think that's what Steven Crowder thinks.
I don't have a side. I think they're both in the wrong.
I don't either, man.
Especially,
I don't know. I kind of agree. I think they're maybe not both in the wrong, but maybe they're not both in either. They're kind of both in the middle for me.
Most of all, I think the one person in the wrong is Ben Shapiro.
You really think so just because of that tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think that was a appropriate tweet.
It wasn't necessary.
That was
after all three videos. That was after all three videos. He posted that an hour and a half ago. That was after all three videos. First, Steven Crowder goes on the air, talks about what he did. The second one is the Daily Wire explaining, and then the third one is Steven Crowder doing it again.
Ben Shapiro could have just.
And then that's when that's when the owner of the Daily Wire says, "Why would you do this? Why are you doing this?"
Well, Ben Shapiro could have just hit him with some diplomatic bullshit. Like he didn't have to say he tragically proved. Like we know what it means, right? Like you can read between the lines. He tragically proves that he knows nothing about this, and friendship.
It's because Steven Crowder. It's because we have to listen. You have to listen to the phone calls that they had.
Yeah, but we can't do that. I mean,
you have to listen to the phone calls that they had. If you listen to the phone calls that they had, then maybe you would understand why Ben Shapiro says that. And he doesn't. And you're right that you probably didn't have to say that. But Steven also didn't have to go on the air twice about it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So it's like they're both wrong to go on the air in public about it and bash each other. I don't know.
I agree.
They didn't have to do that. They could have just kept it. They could have just kept it private, and then that's it. That would have been the end of it, and we wouldn't be having
this disagreement. And now we are. So everybody,
they're all
comment down below what you guys think.
Yeah, if you have a take, let us know what your take is.
Let me know if you guys enjoyed me playing devil's advocate, because I enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, but man, I hope Steven Crowder the best. I hope he's definitely one of the biggest commentators on YouTube. Well, he has like 6 million subscribers, so he's huge.
I mean, I hope it all gets resolved. It doesn't seem like they're doing it for publicity. I can understand. I don't want to keep adding to it, but I know Steven. I can see what Steven Crowder's trying to do. He's not trying to say, fuck Daily Wire. He's just saying, I don't want to be silenced, or like I don't want to be controlled, like Diego said. And then I don't know. I disregarded the Daily Wire because I think the Daily Wire saw it purely as a business point of view. As like the Daily Wire as a business.
Yep.
But then Ben Shapiro comes out and tweets this, makes it a lot more personal. I just hope everything gets resolved in the best way possible. Steven Crowder doesn't have to accept any contract that he doesn't want to be a part of, and the Daily Wire doesn't have to employ anyone that they don't need, or that they don't feel fits their or pay anyone whatever money they don't want to pay anyone. They could pay whatever, like if they want to accept, they accept. But
yeah.
But I think this is a purely. At the same time that it's personal, I also think that everyone's just looking for like their own best interest, as opposed to like the social media bullshit that's going on with Piqué and Shakira.
Right.
Just to segue quickly, I mean, they're both just trying to make money off of this.
Yeah.
He's getting sponsors for his new league, and she's getting money off of her new song because, I mean, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, look at this song about getting cheated on. Men suck."
Men suck.
Yeah, I mean, and I think
what are we gonna do without men?
I think those beefs are completely ridiculous.
Necessary.
I mean, why you gotta let everyone in on your business,
Yeah. I agree. That's why I don't post on Instagram.
I agree that it's bad thing that he cheated and he shouldn't have done that. He made a mistake, but
who cares? Honestly, to be honest, like
it's their relationship. I don't care about their relationship.
Not care. For God's sakes.
I do nothing for.
And you know what the sad thing is? There's millions of people that care.
They care.
Yeah, it's pretty. They can
do whatever they want, dude.
They can do whatever they want, but if you care about that shit, stay away from me.
That was a long conversation.
That was a pretty intense conversation.
That was pretty intense. Comment down below what you guys think.
Let us know your take, man. Get us to 100 subscribers so we can give you guys $100,
if you guys
bro.
disagree,
Come on.
or agree.
Let us know, because seems like I think they're gonna make more YouTube videos about this. To be honest.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think it's gonna keep going. Yeah, but we'll see what unfolds.
He tweeted today, Ben Shapiro.
He tweeted that like 2 hours ago.
Wow.
Let's see, when was this? 4 hours ago. For now.
Well, I mean, it's like if you and I had kind of like a discussion on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I went on social media and said, well, we know that Patrick Ruiz has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to this, and this. Instead of telling you personally, like on or after the podcast, like, actually, I don't think you're true.
Or even if we just had a private discussion.
Exactly. We're obviously not businessmen with a huge platform and a lot of money, but, you know, to bring friendship in there, I wouldn't go out and bash you on social media telling other people that follow me that you don't know, that you have no idea what you're talking about, basically. So that's my point of view. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we talked a lot about this. There's a lot we didn't talk about.
How far are we in?
111.
111.
I mean, I just wanted to ask if you guys have seen The Last of Us.
I have not actually. No. Is it good?
I like.
I actually never played the video game.
You know,
so.
I was gonna ask you.
I was actually never played the video game, which is kind of gonna suck. Is it? You think it'll suck if I watch the thing and I've never played the video game?
No. The thing is the video game.
Yeah, I know, but it's like fuck. Like I have like no context whatsoever.
It's just
but
for
obviously it's just
factor. I mean, it's self-explanatory. The only thing, I like The Last of Us a lot ever since it came out because of the way they tackled an apocalypse. The way it's like a fungal infection, and it's like the fungi trying to control the host.
Yeah,
and that's what the zombies are. It's like a fungal creation.
It's good though.
I liked it. I mean,
how many episodes are there?
One so far. They
just
release
one?
every Sunday. Yeah.
How long is it? Like 40 minutes?
An hour.
Oh, an hour? Okay. Maybe I'll watch it today then. I think that guy was a great actor. I thought they did a great thing
Pedro
to cast
Pascal
him.
did a really good job in the first episode.
I watched a couple clips, but I haven't seen the entire
What
thing.
was this guy in? The most recent?
Mandalorian.
Yeah, the Mandalorian. Yeah,
He is the Mandalorian.
he is the Mandalorian.
I don't watch The Mandalorian.
Me neither. But he is the Mandalorian.
I don't either, but I know that.
But you know that he's the Mandalorian.
Was he in Narcos? He was in Narcos, right?
Was he?
Narcos Colombia.
He looks like he would have been in
know.
Narcos.
Yeah, he was in.
I mean that in the nicest way possible.
I think I watched. You mean Narcos Colombia or just a regular Narcos?
It's just a regular Narcos, but I just want to be clear that it's not Narcos Mexico. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
he
Look,
was.
Narcos Colombia.
Yeah, it was.
Have you seen Narcos
It was
Mexico?
Pena,
I haven't
dude.
seen
It's
any
Pena.
Narcos, bro. I
Narcos
gotta
Mexico
get
is
on
really
that.
good.
I gotta get
Narcos,
on that.
Narcos is good. They're both good, honestly.
Hey, I know that guy.
They're both really good.
It's blurred out, but no, I don't know that guy.
Yeah, Narcos is good. I like both of the series.
I gotta get in on that. But yeah, man. I mean, it's a really good show, The Last of Us, and I mean, nostalgia played a big factor for me because I really liked the video game.
Yeah.
I didn't play any of the games.
They're bashing the girl a lot.
Why?
Because she looks nothing like the character.
Really? I thought she kind of looked similar.
I mean,
pull up a picture.
There's a resemblance, but it's not identical, which I guess is what has people upset.
Oh,
and
okay.
like, she's not grotesque.
Is this live action right
Grotesque.
here?
No, that's
Is this a show? No, right?
That's remastered
Yeah.
PS5
Oh,
or whatever.
Okay.
She's not like grotesque or hideous in any way, but
But the
you know,
trailer maybe.
It's too similar,
That's not her, is it?
but they don't look alike. They don't look like that's her.
That's her.
She looks like.
Damn, she's uglier than the girl in the game.
Like she's not ugly, but they don't look alike.
No, she's ugly.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Nobody's ugly.
And people were hating on this little actress girl just trying to. She did a really good job in the first episode, but people were hating on her because
It's not
She's
that
smiling.
bad.
they're hating on her
It's
because
not terrible.
because they don't look identical.
Her hair's not even the same color.
But people don't understand how
it looks
hard
more
it is
similar right here.
to make a video game like
Yeah.
like a content out of a video game, like
I
a
feel
movie
like
or a
there's somebody
show.
that looks like her. Maybe not.
I mean,
Yeah, but who's you gotta find the actual actor.
there's
you
an
know what I mean?
actual
You gotta find an
actress for
actor.
her, like because they based the character off of someone, right?
Yeah, it's
But
not terrible. Whatever. Oh,
Yeah,
That looks
whatever.
like-
Like literally whatever.
that
Yeah.
looks like a fucking mugshot.
Yeah,
It's literally whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's
Like
not
okay,
terrible.
It looks
whatever.
like she got locked up.
Like she doesn't look that much like her. Like whatever.
Free Ellie, bro. Free her. She ain't do
whatever.
none. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Should I spoil it?
No, don't spoil
No,
it. I'm gonna
don't.
watch
Don't
it.
spoil it. Just there's only
There's
one
only
episode.
yeah,
You're gonna
exactly.
ruin it
There's
for
only one
everybody.
episode.
So it's like Infinity War, where everyone dies. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it anything like The Walking Dead?
I don't know. I've never seen The Walking Dead.
Okay.
You have.
I watched like 6 seasons of The Walking Dead.
It's
From
The
what I've
Walking Dead is
seen,
pretty good.
well, I
It
haven't seen a lot of The Walking Dead,
on.
but I feel like The Walking Dead focuses a lot on the zombies.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
This focuses on these
It
two
doesn't.
people.
The zombies
bit.
are the least part of it. It's mostly like human on human
Kind of.
conflict.
Human on
It's-
human. No human on
because you
zombies.
It's
never-
like
you
70-30.
literally-
It's
in
like
the-
70-30.
No,
Yeah.
for the zombie. No. You literally never worry about when you see a character Like, you basically never worry about zombies. Like, when they're going to do an excursion or something, like, I'm going for supplies, guys. You never, like, I hope they don't get killed by zombies. It's always like, I bet there's going to be some crazy asshole that comes along and, like, tries to rape them or something like that. It's always a person. No, it's always another human being.
Can you get infected in The Walking Dead? Can people get infected?
Everybody's infected in The Walking Dead. I'm just going to say everyone's already infected. Like, if you die, it doesn't matter if you get bit, you're going to turn into a zombie.
Oh.
Because it's like I don't know.
That's
like
bleak.
It's like chemical warfare.
It's like or something like that. So
So here,
no. I'm just kidding. There's already
it's a fungal thing, and there's
you already said it too.
It doesn't. Well, I guess I'm wrong. I guess
that's a cool thing. But who started the fungus? Aliens. Is it in the video game? If it's in the video game, you can say
it's like a fungus. It's in the video. No, they don't really explain it in depth in the video game.
Do they explain it in depth in the show or the comics?
Yeah. Well, there's context clues. If you guys don't get it after the first episode, I'll let you know. But you get it. You know what it is. But here I guess they do kind of focus on the zombies just because it is adapted from a video game. So there's different kind of zombies. There's like the crawlers. There's clickers. There's like a brute. There's a spore.
That's cool because there's a lot of different kinds of mushrooms. A lot. I'm talking about like a lot.
Yeah, but they preface it at the beginning of the show, like it's like a little segment from like a 70s like. It's
interesting. It's
cool. A fictional segment, but it's basically a doctor speaking on a talk show about like, infections, like viral infections and stuff like that can be stopped. He's like, but a fungus isn't trying to like take your energy. They're trying to take over your mind. They're trying to control you. He's like, they explain it really good in the show, but basically he says like, a fungus does things to your brain. He's like, you eat mushrooms and you go on a psychedelic trip. So he's like, that's a lot. Watch it tonight. Right now, actually. Put it on.
Everybody, we're watching it together.
Woo! Reaction time.
Stay tuned. Reaction time.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Wait, so you said that there's... Wait, hold on. Sorry. I have to back up a little bit.
Okay.
Is the fungus... How did they get infected from the fungus, though?
You just got to watch.
Okay. Right. Wait, you want to watch the trailer?
Do you guys want to react to the trailer?
Yeah, let's react
to the trailer. We can make this a clip.
Can we get copyrighted for this?
No, it's just a trailer, I think.
Let's hope. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Hello?
You haven't seen the world, so you don't know. You keep going for family.
I'm not family.
No. You're cargo.
Why are you so important? Somewhere out west. They're working on a cure. I think what really impressed them was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
If she so much as twitches, I
Oh.
Okay. That was funny. I get it.
If I'm taking you with me, you do what I say when I say it. Got any advice on the best way west?
Yeah, go east. You've come this far, then you know what's out there.
You're not gonna scare us. Scared him?
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Be careful who you put your faith in.
You might not be her father, but you're someone's.
You trust me?
See, it didn't really focus on how they were.
What the fuck kind of monsters are those?
They didn't get too focused on the zombies until like the very end, or like at the very beginning. But yeah, I mean, basically the premise: the girl's important. Guy meets the girl, or like, I don't want to explain it like a romantic thing. Like,
guy meets girl.
This older guy gets entrusted to make sure this girl who's important gets west. They live in the east. They live in it starts in Texas. but I don't know where they're living. I think they're living in Boston. Yeah, it starts in Boston. They have to make it west. I don't know. I think Oregon. And you know, chaos ensues. They meet people along the way. They got to fight off zombies because I mean the towns are kind of walled off, making sure they.
That reminds me of Daisy.
Zombie free.
That reminds me of Daisy.
You never played Daisy, huh?
No.
It's like The Last of Us kind of.
It reminds me of
like
The Last of Us,
Dead.
the video game.
It's kind of like
The Walking Dead, kind of like The Last of Us. It's like an open world
Zombie game?
Yeah, it's like an open world zombie game where you go around, you have to collect supplies. You can die of.
It is like
anything.
The Walking Dead though, because it's like you don't
super
worry
realistic.
about the zombies. Honestly, you just worry about people because people are always trying to take your shit.
Yeah, the people
are the worst. Even in a zombie apocalypse, we're the freaking worst.
The stories that they talk about, but the people that I saw a scene in there about like the older black guy and his black son. That's a really interesting part of the story. And then this one guy, there was a scene, I don't know if you saw it, where like he like slammed down the cleaver.
Yeah, I saw that
in the video game.
I saw that.
That is an intense part of the game. But yeah, I think it's just best to watch the show, and you know we'll talk about it as the weeks go by. It comes out every Sunday on HBO Max, $9.99 a month.
All right. What day is it?
$9.99 a month.
What day is it?
Every Sunday.
What date is it? Every Sunday?
I think at 9.
So we'll talk about it. It will be
EST,
it'll be nonstop Monday. Nonstop Mondays. There will be a segment called Fight Tuesday.
Or we'll talk over the phone.
There's gonna be a segment on the show every Tuesday.
My caller 90.
Be called The Last of Us segment.
That don't stop.
The
last of the nonstop podcast segment.
Exactly.
US.
We'll come up with a name and then we'll talk about it.
Or you guys can tell us what you guys want it to be named.
No promises.
The
last of nonstop.
We're better than them.
The last of nonstop. Yeah.
Nonstop.
Nonstop.
Us nonstop.
Thank you everybody for watching. This has been a great podcast. We hope you enjoyed the podcast and the debates and the disagreements. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and
take your inhaler and take your allergy
inhaler.
medicine.
Make sure to sleep 8 hours a day, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Oh,
we're done.
I like Mia.
Take your headphones off.
Mia Goth is a good actress.